This is VFL Weekly Wrap for Round 5, Anzac Week. Now the game on Friday night saw Frankston beat Coburg by 33 points at Frankston Oval, 16-8, 104 to 10-11, 71. Coburg had 50 more possessions, 12 more inside 50s, 23 more hit-outs, and they got smashed into clearances though. Frankston won their last 6 against Coburg. Frankston kept their season alive. Coburg have been rubbish yet again. Amazingly, they find themselves bottom. Now, game at Casey Fields saw Casey defeat Richmond by 27 points, 11-14-80 to 7-11-53. It was an even game. In the last quarter, Casey dominated. 4 goals, 8 to 1 behind. Both teams took over 100 marks. That was also Friday. Now Saturday games. Now, under lights at the Bell Rive Oval, an upset. Carlton beat Tasmania by 25 points. 14-9-93 to 9-14-68. Carlton, they had 83 more possessions, 24 more hit-outs, 42 more marks. Billy Wilson, 40 possessions. George Hill, 39 possessions, 7 tackles, 10 clearances. That's Tasmania's first loss for the year. We'll look at now there are 4 games on Sunday. I didn't go to any games on Sunday. Now there's one in Sydney. GWS absolutely smashed North Melbourne by 63 points. 20-22, 142 to 12-7, 79. GWS were 2 goals 10 at quarter time. Their first 8 scoring shots were all behinds. Now for GWS, Connor Stone, 34 possessions, 10 marks. Callum Brown, 23 possessions, 10 marks, 4 goals. Max Grzuski, 9 marks with his 5 goals. Cooper Harvey had 35 touches for North Melbourne. Now the game at Moorabbin saw Gold Coast beat St Kilda by 35 points, 14-12-96 to 8-13-61. The game was in the balance in the last quarter. The Suns kicked 5 goals to 1. For St Kilda, Jack McRae, 31 possessions, 9 tackles. And for the Suns, Sam Closey, 30 possessions, 2 goals. Disappointing result for the Saints. Gold Coast finally get their first win. A massive upset here, Ipswich. Port Melbourne belted up on Brisbane. 45-point winners. 13-11-89 to 6-8-44. The game was in the balance. Again, another team in the last quarter running away. Port Melbourne kicked 6 goals 5 to 1-1 in the last quarter. Now for Port Melbourne, Josh Tovey, he kicked 5 goals. Tom Hurd, the skipper, 28 possessions, a goal, 7 tackles, 8 clearances. And for Brisbane, Reece Torrent, 27 possessions, 13 tackles, 7 clearances. A fantastic win for the Borough, keeping their season alive. Another home loss to Brisbane. And the game at Beach Oval saw Box Hill defeat a plucky Sandringham by 20 points, 15-13, 103 to 12-11, 83. Box Hill dominated the hit-outs, the clearances. They were in front all the way. Now for the Hawks, Henry Huswaite, 31 possessions, 9 tackles, 11 clearances. Good win for Box Hill. Mate, Box Hill have won their last 14 games in a row against the Zebras. I'll go talk about the games. I went to 3 games. But before I get into it, just subscribe to my channel, Kirk Gang 8878. Press that like button. A recap every Monday. A double-headed Friday. The first game I went to was Whitten Oval. Sydney smashed up on Footscray by 59 points. 22-8, 140 to 12-9, 81. Footscray 4 goals, 2 in the first quarter. Sydney 10 goals, 4 to 1 goal, 2 in the second quarter, and he was done. Third quarter, Footscray 4 goals 2. Again, Sydney ran away for it in the last quarter, 8 goals to 3. There was a wind advantage. It was blown towards the scoreboard end. I reckon it was worth 4 goals. At least. 3 to 4 goals. Now, the major goal kickers for Sydney, Jevan Philippou and Hayden McLean kicked 5 each. Nick Shipley, Tom Ryan, Joel Hamlin, Jesse Dottoli kicked 2 each. Now for Footscray, Luca Murator kicked 3 and 2 each to Zach Walker, Connor Smith and Will Darcy. The possessions for Sydney, Peter Laddams. What a day he had. Look at this. He had 40 possessions, 47 hitouts, 18 clearances and 1 goal. What a ridiculously insane game by the big man. Caden Cleary, 37 possessions. Corey Warner, 31 possessions and a goal. Joel Hamlin, 22 possessions, 9 marks, 2 goals. For Footscray, Jack Billings, 31 possessions and a goal. Cooper Craig Peters, 36 possessions, 12 clearances. Another good game. And look, Sydney dominated this game. They had 416 possessions. They had 38 more hitouts. That second quarter by Sydney was unbelievable. They just piled them on at will. 10 goals to 1 in that quarter. And it was done at half time. It was absolutely done. They had 12 goals up to half time. 12 goals to 5. Nice weather on Friday. Windy. Ground in good condition. Footscray had got a lot of injuries in their AFL team, so it filtered down to their VFL team. And their 17-game winning streak, Footscray, has finally ended. The last loss they had was round 8 at Williamstown against the Seagulls. That was their last loss. So Sydney get a very good win there. It's a jam-packed ladder now. But then I jumped on the train to go to Olympic Park to watch Collingwood Essendon. This game got moved there. It was at Victoria Park, but for some unknown reason, they switched it to their training centre, Olympic Park. And I got there during the first quarter. Entertaining game, free-flowing, but Collingwood were just too good for Essendon. 11-point winners, 17-12, 114 to 15-13, 103. Essendon 5 goals to 4 in the first quarter. Collingwood 5 goals to 3 in the second. Essendon 5 goals to 4 in the third. In the last quarter, Collingwood finished strongly. Essendon had their chances, but Collingwood were too good. 4 goals 5 to 2 goals 5 in the last quarter. Now the major goal kickers for Collingwood. Jack Buller kicked 5. Charlie West 4. Lachlan Sullivan 3. For Essendon, Hussein El Achkar, he kicked 4. Liam McMahon 3. Jaden Nguyen and Matt Gelfie and Jaden Eckersley kicked 2 each. For Collingwood, Ed Allen, 33 possessions, 7 tackles. Harvey Harrison, 21 possessions, 12 tackles. For Essendon, the skipper, Jackson Haitley, 28 possessions, 8 clearances. Christian Ferrunato, 26 possessions, 7 clearances and a goal. The wind was blowing, but it was more cross ground. It was an entertaining game. No team took complete control in that game. Every time one team looked like they were going to run away, the other team came back. It was an entertaining game. It could have gone either way. A good gutsy win by Collingwood. I reckon Essendon will be disappointed with that result because that game was there for them and they just fell away in the end. Excellent crowd there, as I said. It's the first time I've watched a game at that ground. It's a very wide ground, Olympic Park. It's more like a big circle than an actual footy-sized ground. Very wide, very wide. But I've got to say something about that ground. I don't think it's... I wouldn't be putting it down as one of my favourite places to watch footy. Really, the only place worse is the hangar. And the scoreboard too. Very hard to see, very small. Well, how unprofessional is that? So it's not exactly a good place to watch footy. But anyway, good luck to Collingwood. They won that game. Now, the big game, Saturday night, Anzac night. The rivals, Werribee Williamstown. And Werribee were too good for Williamstown. Bit of a surprise here. 25-point winners at Point Gellibrand. 14-13-97 to 11-6-72. Werribee 3 goals free to free in the first. Werribee 4 goals to free in the second. Werribee 4 goals 5-2-2 in the third. In the last quarter, Williamstown won their only quarter, 3-4 to 3-3. Now the major goal kickers for Werribee, the three big forwards. They did the damage. Will Elliott kicked 4. Brady Wright 3. Harry Maguire kicked 2. Jay Dowhouse also kicked 2 for Williamstown. Kellen Dawson kicked 3. Diesel Maloney and Josh Datino Sante kicked 2 each. Now for the Bees, Sam Donegan, 27 possessions, 9 clearances. Louis Pinnock, 25 possessions, 10 marks. Don Brew only had 16 touches, but he had laid 16 tackles, 8 clearances. He was enormous in there, just when they needed it. For Williamstown, again, that man, Joel Fitzgerald, 23 possessions, 8 tackles. Luke Parks, 18 possessions, 14 marks. Werribee had 25 more inside 50s, 19 more clearances. It was a very good night of football. It was actually warm there. It was still roughly 20 degrees. It was a good crowd. I thought the crowd was going to be bigger, but it was still a good crowd. A lot of food trucks and all that. It was a great atmosphere at Williamstown at night. They should be playing more night games there, to be honest. It was a great night with the Anzac. Well, they played the Australian-New Zealand national anthem. That was nice. Mate, Werribee came out with good intentions. They were very good. They got so much clearances. They just dominated, put pressure on Williamstown. I thought Williamstown's intensity was a bit down. The damage was done in the third quarter. Werribee should have put Williamstown away. They should have been 3 or 4 goals further ahead. Williamstown tried to make a run for it late in the third, started last, but Werribee were far too good for them, and they deserved the win. Werribee now are back on track. That's Williamstown's first loss. Don't know what to make of Williamstown, to be honest, because they just weren't good enough. Head-to-head, Williamstown lead Werribee 50-35. It's only Werribee's 10th win on that ground in 38 visits. A good win there. Now the margins, 9 of the 10 games were decided between 20 to 63 points. The goal kickers, Mitch Pajaski 18, Brody McLaughlin 16, Hayden McLean 13, Jack Ferraro 13, Jack Buller 12. Now the ladder, this is ridiculously unpredictable. Every team's lost, every team's won after 5 games. 8 teams are sitting on 3 wins. 10 teams are sitting on 2 wins. 4 teams are sitting on 1 win. Only 2 games separating top to bottom. Extraordinary. Now, to get this, Geelong's on top of the ladder. They didn't play this week. And the week before, they lost their last game, but somehow moved to the top of the table. That is quite extraordinary. Ridiculously close ladder. Good for the competition. Now, the round 6 games, you wouldn't believe it. There's a full program, 11 games. No stupid, dumb, ridiculous buys. All 11 games. There's 2 games on Friday. This is a night game. Box Hill Collingwood at Dingley at 7 p.m. Richmond play Frankston at 7:30 p.m. under lights at Frankston. That's a Richmond home game, but it's Frankston's home game. Now, Saturday, there are 5 games. Southport play Footscray. That should be a good one. Carlton St Kilda, Geelong North Melbourne should be a good one. I'm going to Coburg Brisbane. Hopefully Coburg shows something because I'm getting sick of them playing poorly. I'll probably hit the second half Essendon Williamstown at Windy Hill. Hope he doesn't get moved to the hangar. Sunday there's 4 games. Tasmania play Sandringham, Sydney play Casey, Gold Coast play GWS, and the game I'm going to go to, Port Melbourne Werribee, should be an absolute belter at North Port Oval. Should be a very good crowd. Mate, it was another good week of football. It's starting to warm up now. No time for my gripe because my 15 minutes are up. See you next time.